Hi everyone, in today's chapter we'll be discussing past tense. Hi students, so today we'll be talking about past tense. We will be discussing three types of past tense. The first one is simple past tense, the second one is past continuous tense, and the third one is past perfect tense. Let's start with simple past tense. Basically, we use simple past tense when we talk about things that began and ended in the past. We also usually use time expression with it, like last week, 2 days ago, yesterday, or you can also include the time. In 1999, look at the example there. Rauda watched Money Heist last night. So you can see the verb in bold there. There's ed to indicate past tense. And also we end the sentence with last night. So we use the time expression with it. Look at number 2. Iman went to Avenged Sevenfold concert last year. So when is the past tense for go? And then we use the time expression last year just to make it clear that he went to the concert in the past. Now there are two forms of past tense. The first one is the regular one, which is the one that ends with ed. You can look at the example there. Walk, walked. Post, posted. Jump, jumped. Call, called. All of the regular verbs will end with ed when it turns to past tense. But look at the one on the right side. The irregular verb, they don't add ed. What happened to it is they change from go to when. Is or be to was. Buy to bought. Do, did. So if you want to change the verb to past form, how do you know whether to add ed or to change it? Now, there are no magic rules to know how to do this. Basically, you just have to read a lot in English and you will know whether to add ed or to change the verb to another form. But like I said, regular means biasa, so most verbs we will just add ed. Look at the table here. So with past tense, it's very different from present tense. It doesn't matter if you use I, you, we, they, he, she, it, singular or plural. What matters is the verb itself. If it's regular verb, then you just add ed. If it's irregular verb, you change it. Okay, here is how to form past tense in sentences. Look at the positive form. Usually people will use just ed. I arrived yesterday. For negative form, you add did before it. So before the verb, just add did or did not. He did not arrive. But try to look at the verb there. Look at the verb arrive. When you already add did, you don't have to put ed behind it. It doesn't have to be arrived. Whenever you already put did, the verb will remain a root word. Root word means root, kata akar. Okay, so it means that it doesn't change because you already put did behind it. Did already carry the meaning past. So you don't have to put did and then add d as well. So here is how you ask questions in past form. Did you arrive in time yesterday? So I just want you guys to try to memorize the sequence of the words here. So instead of saying you did arrive in time yesterday, so make sure you follow the proper sequence, which is did you arrive in time yesterday? Now let's look at the last one, the WH questions. This is the sequence, how did you arrive? Or when did you arrive? Now let's try to do this exercise together. We are going to change the verb in red to past tense. Now remember, some verbs they are regular verbs, so you just add ed. But some verbs they are irregular, so you have to change the word. I go to London last month. So we change go to when. I went to London last month. When is the past tense for go. I visited the Tower of London and saw the River Thames. Then we visited Big Ben. Because we were hungry, we had lunch near Trafalgar Square. After lunch, we wanted to do some shopping at Piccadilly Circus. There were lots of shops there. When night came, we ate dinner at Covent Garden and heard some jazz bands. We had a good time and tasted the famous Irish coffee. At the end of the evening, Edie walked back to our hotel, but we got lost in the street. LOST. A cool wind was blowing and I got the flu. So if you find it hard to do this, what you can do is just try to Google up the past form for each of the words there. And the more you do exercises like this, the more it will come naturally to you. You will eventually know the past form of each verb. Now let's move on to past continuous tense. Basically, we use past continuous tense when we are describing an action that was in progress in a specific time in the past. So we are describing about an action that was in progress, but it happened in the past. So the form for past continuous tense is whether you use was or were, depending on the subject, and then you just add ing to the verb. Let's look at the example so you would understand better. Ali was watching TV at 8 o'clock last night. So you can see there we use was and then we add ing to the verb watch. Ali was watching TV at 8 o'clock last night. Ali tengah tengok TV pada pukul 8 malam semalam. So basically we use past continuous tense, like I said, when we are describing an action that was happening but in the past. Benda tu tengah terjadi tapi dah lepas. They were laughing so much while watching Friends last night. So as you can see here, we use were and then for the verb we add ing. They were laughing so much while watching Friends last night. Mereka tengah gelak teruk gila semalam masa tengok Friends. So this is the formula for you to remember. Look at the table there. I was watching. Whenever you use I, the verb to be is was. And then you just add ing to the verb. So I was watching. Whenever you use you, we, they, and also plural means more than one, you have to use were. Okay, look at the example there. You were watching. We were watching. They were watching. Ali and Abu were watching. Now, whenever you use he, she, it, and also singular, and I put the example there, Ali, we're going to use was. He, she, it, Ali was watching. So for past continuous tense, very easy. It's whether you use was or were, and then just add ing to the verb. Okay, so here are the examples for negative and positive form for past tense. Was studying, or if it's in negative form, we're going to use wasn't studying. Basically, wasn't is a short form for was not. Okay, were studying and weren't studying. Were not studying. So let's just use the short form to make it easier for us. Usually people are just going to say wasn't studying or weren't studying. So let's try to do this exercise together. Julie was sleeping at 3 o'clock last night. Okay, you can add the time expression or not, it's up to you. So number 2, you were studying at 3 o'clock. I was working at 4 o'clock. They were eating chocolate at 3 o'clock. John was playing tennis at 5 o'clock. Why do we use was? Because there's only one person there. Singular, we use was. We were watching TV at 3 o'clock. The dogs weren't playing or were not playing outside when the murder happened. I was not listening to music when the murder happened. Mr. Blue was not drinking coffee in the library when the murder happened. Dr. Ford was not or wasn't reading in his room when the murder happened. Now here are the WH questions sequence. So in a sentence, we will start with the WH question, what? And then you put the verb to be, was or were. And then the subject, are you reading, he, she, it? And then the verb, thinking. So let's try to read the sentence. What was I thinking? What was he thinking? What was she thinking? What was it thinking? What were you thinking? What were we thinking? What were they thinking? Now let's try to do this exercise together. Why were you working? Where were you hiding? Where was he going? Why was it snowing in the summer? What were we eating? Why were they studying? Okay, this is how you form a yes or no question. First, we use the verb to be, was or were, and then the subject, and then the verb, and then the question. Was I studying when Ali called? Were you studying when Ali called? Okay, again, this is just for you to get used to the sequence, so when you are talking, you're talking in the correct form. Okay, let's try to do this exercise together. You can pause this video and try to do it on your own first, and then just play this video so you can check the answer with me. So number 1, when you arrived at the party, was Ellen dancing? Number 2, when you arrived at the party, were John and Anne singing? When you arrived at the party, because there's only one person here, we're going to use was. Was Judy putting on makeup? When I saw you and Lucy last night, where were you going? When you arrived at the party, was everybody having fun? Now, for everybody, I know it means semua orang, but in English language, because every is taken as every one of them. So every setiap satu, we're going to use the singular form here, was everybody, and not were everybody. So was everybody having fun? When I saw you and Lucy last night, what was Lucy wearing? Now let's move on to the last one, which is past perfect tense. So basically we use this to show the order of events in the past. This is to show that an action that happened before another action in the past. For example, she had already eaten when I arrived. Masa saya dah sampai, which dah berlaku tadi, dia sudah bermakan. Okay, basically we just want to show something that happens before something, but both of these things that happen already happened in the past. So we're going to use past perfect tense. Okay, so how do we do that? First, you add had, and then you change the verb to past participle. Let's look at the example so you would understand better. Look at the verb finish there. So basically, so what will happen is you will add had and then change finish to past participle form. I had finished my work before the meeting started. Study. They had studied for the test, so they felt prepared. Forget. He realized he had forgotten his keys after he locked the door. So instead of just changing forget to forgot, you change it to the past participle form, which is forgotten. So that's it for today. I hope you learned a lot from this chapter. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.